to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Hey, down in front! This week we're talking about the closely related worlds of theme parks and the movies. But first, travel news, including Disney Cruise Line prepares for a test cruise, Universal Orlando welcomes your Dreamworks animation favorites, and Zach is proud to share the story of Walt Disney Imagineering's Bob Gurr. Refill your popcorn bucket and pass the soda. It's time to hit the trail with the Gold Key Adventurers Society! Who doesn't love a good movie? The best ones are like a theme park attraction. They transport you from sitting in front of a screen to living the adventure in your imagination. And some of the best theme parks and attractions do just that, put you right in the middle of the action of your favorite movies. This week, we're talking movies and theme parks, but first I was wondering, what movie from any studio would you like to see made into a theme park attraction?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh.
And I want them to hand out coconuts as you're walking in, so you can simulate a horseback ride.
Oh yeah, I like that. You just hop along.
It'd be an incredibly low budget. Zach's over there looking incredibly confused. Zach, have you ever seen Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail?
I have not.
Oh, we're going to watch it together. Come on up here to Michigan and we're going to have a party.
I want to know who brought the popcorn.
Do you want to know what?
I could go make some real quick. Y'all, I went to 2 movies this weekend, and it was so amazing to be back in the movies. I went to see A Quiet Place 2 and Cruella.
I went to A Quiet Place too.
Yeah. I had popcorn.
That would be a fun theme park ride, is A Quiet Place.
Oh, man.
Just completely pitch black and quiet until they jump out and just scare the hell out of you.
Every time you make any noise.
I would pay the most exorbitant upcharge to be able to experience that for an afternoon.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, I would too, actually.
My idea going into this before the Quiet Place thing was I would like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure ride where you're on the bicycle, kind of like the vehicles on the E.T. ride or something.
Yes.
So it's like you're on a cheesy bike and you go through all the fun stuff in Pee-wee's movie.
Would Large Marge be in there?
Oh, of course. That would be the dark, scary part.
Yeah.
Tell them Marge sent you.
Go up through the dinosaur. I mean, they could just reskin the ET attraction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Retheme it.
That's a great idea. How about you, Zach?
Oh, well, I think mine's pretty obvious. I still want my Mary Poppins attraction.
I know.
Please, God, why won't
close.
We were this close till Bob Paycheck got a hold of it.
Stupid.
You were this close to getting a glorified meet and greet.
Yeah, that's probably
that's true. It may not have even been anything good.
No.
Well, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Good.
Yeah, like get Tony Baxter out of.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want
Exile.
Tony Baxter's. What was it? Mary Poppins Jolly Holiday. That's the attraction I want.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Absolutely.
One. Yeah.
Where you start out on a carousel horse, and the carousel horse breaks off of the actual carousel. It goes into the. Gosh,
that would be so incredible.
And then before you know it, you're in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
Wasn't that like his grad school thesis that got him the job at Imagineering?
Something like
I
that.
think so. Yeah.
I think so.
That would be good.
I need to go back and watch the Imagineering series again. I've seen it twice. I need to go back.
Yeah.
and
I was hoping for another season and haven't seen a thing.
That would.
They haven't
nice.
invented anything good since.
That's fair.
And as you're leaving the attraction, you'll have Dottie saying "Au revoir, Pee-wee. Au revoir."
Yeah. No calls for Mr. Herman.
We're such great Imagineers. I think we all missed our calling. I really do.
Absolutely. I was thinking I would love to see a really well done Western movie into whether that's like the Lone Ranger or something. But I was thinking that you could do it they could take Flight of Passage, because it's kind of like you're on a horse anyway, especially with like you feel it breathing. But so you could climb up on it and it could move just enough. So it's like you're up on the horse, but then they could also simulate you getting down off the horse. And so it could kind of simulate you.
Like that Johnny Depp movie?
Yeah. A whole Western themed world where you could shoot things and be
like,
a bandit.
like a West world, sort of.
Yeah.
I think they have that in Japan.
Aliens versus Cowboys versus Aliens.
Ooh, yeah, that's got.
Sure.
Wasn't Harrison Ford in that one?
Yes, and Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp was in one of those types of movies. Wasn't he in The Lone Ranger? Didn't he play a Native American?
Yeah, he was in The Lone Ranger. He
Who's
played
he?
Tonto.
He did a tiny smidge of cultural appropriation and played a Native American.
He was in full brown face. Yes.
Introducing a smidge of Johnny Depp cultural appropriation.
That's correct.
Who are we talking about?
Jonathan Depp.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, all right.
He's one of our nation's smelliest actors. He looks like he smells like cigarettes and a bar mat.
All right, well, before we get a
And
letter
BO.
from Johnny Depp's lawyers, because he's desperate to get money wherever he can, our show this week is brought to you by Keep the World Travel. Keep the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keeptotheworldtravel.com for more details and no obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Guys, did you hear about the great news?
I heard the great news.
On the high seas.
I did not. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Disney Cruise Line has just been given permission to run one of those test sailing cruises on June 29th. Yeah. So that's coming up quick. So you don't have much time to. I'm assuming they already.
What is
have
the Disney
volunteers.
Cruise Line?
Never heard of her.
They've got a few boats and they take you out for a 3-hour tour. No, June 29th to July 1st, they're doing a 2-night simulated cruise departing from Port Canaveral.
With all volunteers on board.
Yes.
And no, we have been given no information about how they're going to obtain those volunteers. So please don't text me and ask.
They are not
Yeah.
having people call the travel agencies to see which of their agents would like a free cruise.
No.
This is not happening.
Cast members?
I suspect that it's going to be cast members and their families. That's my
Yeah, I'm
guess.
thinking family and friends of crew and
It
executives.
definitely would be a nice thank you for the
Yeah.
hard work they've put in.
They're going ahead with test cruises since there's no way they can get to 95% of their passengers vaccinated when no one under the age of 12 can get a shot right now. So this is what they have to do to get sailing. And
Do you
we
know what it
haven't had
is they're testing on this test cruise?
No, all they say in the official release is it says, where did it go? We now have the green light to conduct our 2-night simulation cruise aboard the Disney Dream from June 29th to July 1st from Port Canaveral. The ship will sail with volunteer passengers to test our newly developed health and safety protocols, which have been meticulously tailored to the current public health environment.
Yeah, you can see what they are if you read the CDC's 9 billion page document. It basically has a lot of stuff to do with testing before people board the ship. I think they have to test everyone mid-cruise, and if they get to a specific number of positive cases, they have to halt the cruise and turn around and go back.
For a 2-day cruise.
Shouldn't they just stop and sit there for 2 weeks so that everybody gets the all clear? Why are they
The
going
only
to bring
body that leaves theirs in a
of,
body bag.
a ship full of plague?
That's why they have to do these volunteer ones. You're signing a release before you get on that says, hey, if I get COVID, it's my own fault.
Yeah.
But they have to test, all of the way that they're handling dining and all that stuff. And we don't know yet with Disney. They haven't said anything about whether they're going to require people 12 and up to be vaccinated. All the other lines have, but we haven't heard that from Disney yet. So I'm curious what move they're going to make on the over 12s.
I can't imagine they wouldn't. Disney always errs on the side of caution and safety.
It's true. Yeah.
And also following the prevailing practices of the industry as we've seen them.
Yeah.
But just one notch higher, so they seem like they're
just
better.
a little more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and
Think there'll be any plexiglass on that ship?
Oh man,
I sure hope so.
I can't wait till the plexiglass. Can we have a big? I don't know. How do you safely dispose of all the plexiglass?
Not fire, though. I know you were thinking bonfire.
I was going to say,
I was going to say
bonfire. Yeah, no.
Yes, fumes. Sadly, this is one maiden voyage that you will not be able to get on.
That's right.
I know, but think of the lucky people that are volunteering for the maiden voyage of the new normal.
Yeah.
Bravely sailing.
Gets their own new maiden voyage now.
Well, speaking of incentive to get vaccinated, United Airlines has another incentive they're throwing there in the hat, and they are launching a program called Your Shot to Fly. And every single day in June, they're going to be giving away round trip flights for 2 people for a year. A year's worth of flights for any class of service. So,
wow.
30 days of June, and it's good for 26 trips. That's what they consider a year's worth of flights. But you could get 26.
They haven't met us.
Yeah, that's true. 26 first class tickets you could get just by getting vaccinated. What you have to do is first of all, you have to be 18 years of age or older.
Dang it.
And you do have to join United's frequent flyer program Mileage Plus, which you can join for free. That doesn't cost anything to join. And then what you'll do is go to the United website and upload your vaccination record. And then every day in June, they'll be drawing a name and somebody will get free flights for a year.
I do have one question about that, though.
Yes.
What about my freedoms?
Well, if you want to have your freedom to not get vaccinated, you are also free to not win this contest.
What are they going to do with my information? Sell it to Bill Gates?
It's kind of like Krispy Kreme and their free donuts. And then if you want to be free, never mind. Krispy Kreme offered free donuts for a year to anybody who was vaccinated. And then a whole bunch of people cried and said, but I don't want to get vaccinated. How do I get my free donuts?
Well, then
said, well, you don't understand. This is an incentive to get vaccinated.
Right.
So instead, they had one special day where anybody, vaccinated or not, could come in and get one free glazed donut and a coffee. So they actually ended up getting more than a vaccinated person.
Participation trophy.
But can't you do that anytime at Krispy Kreme? Don't you? If you go in and watch them making donuts, don't they give you a free donut?
No.
How often do you go to Krispy Kreme, Heather?
I mean, not that often anymore, but when it first came here, while you were standing in line waiting, they were giving out free donuts every single time I went there.
I've literally never seen that happen.
Really?
I've
been going to Krispy Kreme since I'm 2 years old.
Yeah, if there's a line and you're waiting, they will come down the line and grab and give everybody a free glazed donut while they're waiting in line. Must just be the Grand Rapids location.
I guess so.
When they first opened, our Krispy Kreme was ridiculous because everybody was so excited.
There were always lines.
Krispy Kreme. Yeah.
I'm glad that y'all can remember one being opened. I just always existed with one. We just always had them. Now I do have to mention
not us.
On a somewhat serious note here, I just still, every time I love that the businesses are doing these vaccination things. I totally support them, but I do think it's a bit ridiculous when we think about the shitty year that we all had last year.
Yeah.
That we're having to give away free cruises.
We're having to bribe people.
Flights, give people donuts for it to all be over with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We would all still have polio today.
America. Welcome to America.
If it was left to this generation.
Well, yeah, they didn't give you a choice. They just gave you a sugar cube and sent you on your way. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I have a Japanese friend who just is flabbergasted by the way we act in this country. And she's like, we do not get a choice for any vaccination. They give them in school. And she's like, we line up and you walk into the gym and you sit down and you get your shots and you leave. And it happens every year. And every single kid in the school is vaccinated, and you get vaccinated and you move on. But they tend to care a lot more about taking care of others and community than we seem to.
Yeah, I mean, mask wearing for them.
Yeah.
Free will didn't become some kind of pissing contest there.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Mask wearing when you're sick is just part of their culture too. That also baffles her. Like, why wouldn't you want to keep someone else from, even if it's just a cold? Isn't it just the polite thing to do to put on a mask and keep someone else from catching your cold?
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll die from carbon monoxide.
Well, one place where mask wearing is no longer part of the culture.
Not anymore.
Universal Orlando Resort. A few days ago, as we record this, they announced they updated their health and safety protocols. The face coverings are no longer required for fully vaccinated guests indoors or outdoors.
Yeah, the indoors part sort of that they went to that so quickly surprised me.
Yeah,
I know, they really kind of jumped. Yeah, they did a little leapfrog in there. While we do not require proof of vaccination, we do expect those who are not fully vaccinated to wear face coverings while indoors.
That
they still
means
encourage.
if you're not 12 years old, you better be wearing a face mask indoors.
That's what I'm hollering about.
But they're also apparently, from what we've heard, not asking anybody or confronting, which, I mean, makes sense. I'm sure that they don't want to get in those fist fights from...
we'll be talking about that in a minute.
They don't get paid. They don't get paid enough to care that much. Not the threat of being get into a fist fight anyway.
If the team members are vaccinated, you can get a vaccination now if you want it. So protect yourself, I guess.
Yep. So they say they're still devoted to maintaining high levels of cleanliness and sanitation standards. But something else, just a real quick hit, exciting at Universal. They found a replacement for Barney over at the Kids Zone.
Oh, what is it?
It is the Dreamworks Destination. It's a photo meet and greet / dance party experience that goes on in the Barney Theater there, and there's kind of a stage in the round, and they've got 6 characters, or more than 6 characters, six at a time are out. So they've got Branch and Poppy and what's that sparkly glitter farting troll's name? Guy Diamond.
I'm sorry, what?
No clue.
Excuse me?
You haven't seen the Trolls movie?
No.
There's a sparkly silver troll. I believe his name is Guy Diamond, and his shtick is he farts glitter. And I swear we talked about this. The walk around character suit that they have at Universal farts glitter at the meet and greet thing. So
that's fantastic.
He's a totally nude troll. So his little butt, as the traditional troll dolls wear, is hanging out there, and he farts glitter, and it's real fun.
Well, I need to see this now.
See, this is why I just don't do DreamWorks movies.
So they also have King Julian.
You like to move it.
Yeah, he sure does. Kung Fu Panda. They've got.
Oh, I know that one.
Oh, and they've got.
Do they have that duck that makes the noodles?
I hope so.
That's Kung Fu Panda's dad.
It looks like they might also have Puss in Boots there. But so anyway, they rotate through and they do their little song and dance, and the kids can dance with them and take pictures.
A glitter farting troll is an improvement over Barney any day.
Yeah. It's certainly.
I love you. You love me. Barney was terrible 25 years ago.
Yes.
I haven't allowed my children to watch that show.
Speaking of something that will want to make you punch someone.
Yeah.
Here's Jeff with the story.
Yeah. Jeff, Jeff sent me this story earlier about Southwest and American suspending alcohol sales on their
there's
flights.
So many rowdy, drunk jerks on these flights. They're just not going to serve alcohol.
Good.
Yeah, Southwest and American both. Southwest they had intended to bring alcohol sales back later this month, but says now that they are indefinitely on hold. And American has already brought it back for their first class cabin, and we're planning to bring it back in main cabin, but they've decided to wait until at least September. But did you all see the story of the flight attendant that lost 2 teeth after getting punched in the face?
Yeah, that was a throwdown.
I
missed that.
It's mostly people throwing a fit about having to wear masks. It just
What is wrong with us?
I don't understand how you don't realize before you even get there. And then once you're in the airport, they say it over and over and over again.
I saw a lady
federal mandate.
A huge fit when I was flying back home a couple weeks ago. Saw a lady. They wouldn't let her get on the flight because she refused to wear a mask, and she was pitching the biggest fit. I'm like, there's no way you booked your flights, got through security,
you clicked that you have to click that you acknowledge all this.
Yeah,
and get all the way to your gate and not know that you don't have to wear a face mask.
Delta texts you and emails you,
Yes,
and
they do.
And you can't finish your check-in process or your ticket purchasing process without acknowledging that you will agree to do that.
And
it's all just showboating.
Yeah,
they're doing it on
is.
purpose for the TikTok.
They say it over and over and over again on the flight when they're doing their pre-flight announcements.
I couldn't finish my Panda Express at the food court in the airport without a Delta employee telling me I had to wear a face mask.
Yes. Yeah. And it's federal law now. It's not just the local police that are going to get on you. It's the local police that will handcuff you at the gate when you land. But it's a federal crime, folks. Just wear a mask. If you want to get on an airplane, you're going to have to wear a mask. It's not that difficult. It's really
ain't rocket surgery.
Like there have been apparently since January 1st, just since January 1st, there have been 2,500 incidents of unruly passengers, and 2,000 of them were people refusing to comply with the mask mandate.
That's a shame. I prefer ruly passengers.
Yeah, yes.
Always, yes.
Don't we all? Ruly passengers that wear their shoes.
If you fly American and Southwest, you can thank all of these idiots for the fact that you won't be able to have a nice Jack and Coke on your flight.
Well, I'll be up front with my drink. So
that is true.
You do you.
And you know what? I'm not usually the type to squeal on somebody, but I have pointed it out to a flight attendant when someone has been taking off their mask every time the flight attendant turns their back.
Absolutely.
And I don't have a problem with it.
Because I want to take my mask off, but because I can't, you can't either.
That's right.
Amen.
It's not like they can't see with the eyes in the back of their heads.
Well, we ratted on a guy who he was in the bulkhead seat, and during takeoff, the flight attendant has to sit down on the other side of that wall. And every time she was turning her back, he was taking off his mask, and she had told him already a few times. And during takeoff, he did it again, took it off because he knew she couldn't see her. And Jeff gestured to the guy, pointed at his mask, and she leaned around the wall and was like, "This is it, buddy. If I have to tell you one more time, you're getting arrested."
He kept it on.
Yes, he did.
I'm not above using my former teacher voice on a couple of assholes who won't wear their mask.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Well, not now. As we all know, everyone
no, Zach, teacher voice now.
Wears a mask.
We can't hear your teacher voice. Come on.
No. Well,
I'm not shaking in my boots yet. Imagine I'm
a librarian now, so now I just go.
Little Billy is eating crayons.
Were you in the movie The Quiet Place?
That was me. Anytime anyone's watching that movie, I have to go up to people and go, shh.
Aliens will get you if you make any sounds.
Spoiler alert.
Gosh, Heather. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a sequel.
Well, I don't do scary movies. I read plot summaries on Wikipedia, though, so I know what happens.
I've got some quick news out of a park that we don't cover very often.
SeaWorld?
Oh, wow. Yeah. How'd you guess? Jeez.
I wasn't sure they were still open.
Yeah, they are. And they even still have animals there.
Sea creatures?
Sea creatures of all sorts. And their CEO, they have a brand new CEO, Mark Swanson. He gave an interview with the Orlando Sentinel.
I love his Hungry Man dinners.
And nothing too specific, but he did say that they are planning to add new rides and attractions to the park, but also that they've got some parcels of land that they plan on opening up some of their own hotels at adjacent to their parks. So they want to get into the full resort business.
They do have some good coasters that I love there.
They sure do, which flows into my second little mini news piece for SeaWorld. They just opened up a new coffee shop right near the entrance of the park. It is called the Coaster Coffee Company because when you think SeaWorld, obviously you think roller coasters.
Yes, obviously.
But
you should, actually. They have great ones.
Yes, they do. And the cool thing about this is this Coaster Coffee Company, they serve Starbucks brand coffee drinks, but they also have some construction photos of some of their popular attractions, but they have these scale models of coasters from the park that are actually running. So they've got tiny little cars that are going around the track. Yeah, it's right up Jeff's alley. That's what
I've never wanted to visit Universal more in my life than right now.
It's SeaWorld.
SeaWorld. See, that's how much I've always wanted to visit.
Oh, I would love to go see that. Is it open yet, or is this just an announcement that it's coming soon?
No, it's open. It's right. It opened last Friday.
Let's go see it.
As we're recording, it was the 27th. 28th.
Yeah, I want to see the tiny roller coasters.
Yeah, it's.
I've always wanted to go to SeaWorld.
Speaking of tiny little things, did anyone happen to see on NBC last night the show Small Fortune?
No.
It's a game show, one of these summer game show things, and all of the challenges are these tiny little scale models of things where you have to do little bitty challenges inside of there. Like one was the Oval Office, and you have to flick a book off the desk into the trash can in the tiny Oval Office. They had a bank heist where you had to do all these little bitty challenges inside of this tiny bank. It's my favorite.
I'm going to have to watch this.
Yeah, it looked super fun.
I was going to tell you, I was looking for tank trips around Michigan for the holiday weekend to take. And Michigan has, strangely, a large number of attractions featuring miniature items, whether they be tiny wedding chapels or all kinds of museums of miniature dioramas. So I think next time you come up to the northern compound, we might have to plan a road trip.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah, so... something else that we like. I had some clever. Oh, what was I going? That's what I was going to say. Zach's back for some themed Walt Disney theme parks news stories. And since it's June, Zach's kicking off Pride Month here in June with a news story.
Yeah, well, for Pride Month, I kind of wanted For March, we talked about, for Women's History Month, we talked about women who worked for the Walt Disney Company, more specifically for like Imagineering, since we tend to focus on a lot of theme parks on this show. So I wanted to do something similar for June, especially because today we're recording is June the 1st. It's the first day of Pride Month. So I want to talk about probably the most, I don't know if it's the most notable, but he's probably the most famous LGBTQ individual that has worked for the Walt Disney Company, at least in terms of Imagineering, and that's Bob Gurr.
I love Bob Gurr.
He's the cutest.
Yeah, Bob Gurr is great. And I have to rag on Jess just a little bit because when we were at Walt Disney World in March and we were talking, I don't know how we got in the conversation, but we were talking about him. And Jess had no idea that Bob Gurr was a gay man. And I just thought it was really funny.
I didn't know that till recently.
Well, I guess it's probably just, he never really made a big deal about it. And even when he worked for the company, he wasn't really out, which I know a lot of people, and even himself talked about with an interview, a lot of people suspected that he was gay, but he never came out. Of course, that was a very different time.
Much different.
He's super old. Yeah. He's like 97 years old.
Yeah, he was born in 1931. So I think he's like 89 years old at this point. So he did say in the interview, and I can't quote him because I don't have the interview pulled up, but he did say that, a lot of people suspected that he was gay, but he said Walt didn't care. But Walt was very much one of those people who's like, as long as you can do the work, I don't care anything else. Just do the work, make it happen. But yeah, he was born in October 1931. He attended the Art Center College of Design in Los Angeles on a General Motors scholarship, and he studied industrial design. He graduated in 1952 and was hired by the Ford Motor Company. After that, he eventually joined Imagineering, which at the time was WED Enterprises, and he was hired to consult in the design of miniature cars for Autopia, which is probably his most notable work he did as Imagineer. He designed the cars for Autopia, and I know he's very proud of that himself. I just wish they could find a way to make those things electric and get rid of the fumes and sounds. Technology's there, folks. Make it happen, Bob. One of you. I don't care which one.
We have the technology.
we have technology. He continued to work for Walt Disney Imagineering for almost 4 decades. He worked on the Flying Saucers attraction in Tomorrowland. He also, I know, that one where there's like bouncing balls on each other.
He didn't talk about that one much, probably.
That was a rousing success both times they put it in the park.
Both times.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people will rag on like a lot of Disney attractions that are coming out today. And they're like, oh, they've already done this. I'm like, well, did you see Tomorrowland when the park first opened? Because people are riding around on bumper cars, bumping, big inflatable balls all over the place. So I give him some slack. He worked on one of my favorite attractions at Walt Disney World, the double-decker buses of Main Street USA. I'm a huge fan of the double-decker buses.
I've never ridden that.
Oh, you should. It's a lot of fun. And during one of the Christmas parades, the last one I got to go to, they had the bus out where you could climb up on the stairs and actually get your picture made on the stairs on the bus, which for someone like me was a big deal. Because I've always been able to ride it, but never been able to get on there by myself and get my picture taken. He also worked on the Magic Skyway that premiered at the 1964-65 New York World's Fair, and also designed the mechanical workings of Disney's first audio animatronics human figure, which is
Lincoln?
Mr. Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, featured in Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln. In 1981, he retired from Imagineering, but he started his own company, Gurr Design Incorporated. And 3 years later, he joined forces with 2 former Imagineers to form Sequoia Creative Incorporated, that specialize in leisure time spectaculars, whatever that means. He also during that time he helped develop King Kong and Conan's Serpent for Universal Studios in Hollywood. I know that he still continues to consult with Disney, and he was inducted as a Disney legend in 2004 in the category of Imagineering, and he's still alive. I follow him on Facebook. He's all the time posting these cute things that he's made and he's selling, and he'll autograph them.
Yep.
And I just need to go ahead and break down and buy it, because it's hard to find. Eventually you're not going to be able to get things that are tied to these old school Imagineers, because they're eventually all going to be dead.
He's
the
cutest man, and he's all over the Imagineering series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there anybody that didn't shed a tear when he signed the girder on
the Matterhorn,
or the wall on the Matterhorn?
The girder.
I haven't watched that series. I need to watch that.
Zach,
that is not true, is it?
I think I watched the first couple episodes.
Story.
Those are the best ones.
You are actually fired at this point.
Yes, you are a Disney historian, and you did not watch that show. Ugh.
I'll get around to it eventually. I'm one of those people that'll keep my Disney Plus, then cancel it, then resubscribe, then cancel it, resubscribe and cancel. That's $6.99, Or what? How much is it now? Like $7.99?
Yeah, it went up a whole $1.
Yeah.
I can't imagine caring.
But yeah. Well, next time, if I'm allowed to come back, next week we'll talk about. I think I want to talk about Andrea Deja. I think that's his name. He was an animator. We'll talk about him next.
All right. Well, I want to meet Bob Gurr. I think he's adorable.
His name is Deja Vu.
Well, when he had a whole exhibit at the Walt Disney Family Museum called Deja Vu.
Oh, clever.
They talked about all of his artwork. He has some pretty amazing artwork. I do want to try and find some other individuals along the alphabet soup that is the LGBTQIA plus community. So if you have any suggestions, you can let us know, because I would like to incorporate, maybe some people like a lesbian or transgender individuals. I want to make sure we're not just covering the gay men. So
I like it.
Let us know. Drop us a line at all our usual places. Let Zach know who you want to learn more about, or if you've got a personal favorite. And thank you, as always, for your news story, Zach, or your history lesson, I should say. Stick around, because after the commercial break, we're talking about the movies that inspired our favorite theme park attractions. When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World Travel Vacation Planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Universal Studios used to promise you the chance to ride the movies, but they're not the only park that draws from cinema for inspiration for their attractions. With their sights and sounds, movies get you halfway to engaging all your senses for an amazingly immersive experience. It's a match made in heaven, going all the way back to before Walt Disney even broke ground on Disneyland. So I know I've shared this trivia bit with, I think, Zach, but did you know that Walt made a theme park before Disneyland? Long before Disneyland, actually.
You are a liar.
I am not a liar. It wasn't a very impressive theme park, but there was a park that he had made for the world premiere of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
What?
Yeah, it was like a combination walk-through, drive-through experience where you could drive through a little woodland setting with the dwarves' cottage, and they had like oversized concrete mushrooms and stuff and little figurines of the dwarves and the animals.
That sounds adorable.
So, yeah, it was just like
I was not aware of that.
I had no idea.
Neither was I until I can't remember which. I was reading a book a while ago that talked about it. It was the first time I'd ever heard of it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I figure we can start off with a look at some of our favorite rides inspired by movies. And I think it's only fitting that we kick off our discussion at the park that still holds closest to the backstory of going into the movies and living them as they're made. Because Disney's Hollywood Studios has kind of given up on that and it's more just
a little bit, yeah.
The movies, whereas Universal Studios, let's talk about that since it's like we're making movies here still.
Yeah, and they're fully embracing it. I love where they're going with all the Jurassic Park IP. I have always been a Jurassic Park fan, and that section of the park is great, but they just keep making it better and better, and I love it.
I always wondered though, like why. So I love Jurassic Park. I love those movies, and the original Jurassic Park ride that was already there at Universal is good, but it's a glorified flume zoom.
It definitely is.
Come on, that deserves better. Should be more action, more animatronic.
And they've redone it at Hollywood, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's Jurassic World there.
It's Jurassic World now.
You go past the Mosasaur tank.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they make it look like he's cracking the glass. That's pretty awesome.
That is
it's cool. Like a flume ride through the Skull Island.
Yeah, they could definitely plus it and make a little bit.
I do love that ride, but that Velocicoaster is amazing. But it's like a hint of Jurassic. It makes sense, I guess, for what it is.
Well, I know they have filed patents for giant clear balls that you can roll past dinosaurs.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yes.
And that scene in the first Jurassic World movie was incredible.
So good.
Yeah, I don't know what park they have it planned for, but they've filed patent paperwork. You can look at the drawings for it that they have that planned.
I look forward to riding the Velocicoaster again when maybe I can stop screaming long enough to actually look for some of the Velociraptors.
I don't know what was going on around me, honestly.
Yeah, I was just screaming my full head off.
You can hear, I definitely was hearing as we were zooming by things, you hear that cool Velociraptor sound.
They're chasing you. And certainly the ride queue is great. My favorite part is that there's a room where they have the Velociraptors in the metal muzzle, and they're it's like you're in the room with them.
Breathing edge and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, so good.
Honestly, speaking of Kong Skull Island, I love that. I know a lot of people don't like that attraction, but I think it's super cool.
I like it too. It just
Zach likes the scare actors in the line.
It's very immersive. Yeah, the Universal is very good at the set design with their attractions, and that whole area is really gorgeous, and you do feel like you're.
The ride into the cave is amazing. I just wish there was a little bit more once you got into the main show bit. But yeah, I mean that's amazing, and even my wife and my oldest son are going to be down in Universal in a couple of weeks, so they were watching show or ride videos to prep, and they were watching The Mummy, and I've only ever done express pass on The Mummy, so I had no idea. The queue for that is amazing. There's all kinds of props and set pieces to make it look, because since, the videos that they show you, it's like you're supposed to be on the set of The Mummy. They've got all kinds of set pieces.
What's his name? Keeps telling you, go get him a cup of coffee.
Right, yeah, Brendan Fraser, yeah. There's
I was wondering why he said that, because they don't mention it.
Yeah, because I've only ever gone in the express pass line. I've never waited in standby.
In the actual queue, they set up the story with the guy that he's yelling at to get his coffee. There's a whole thing where he's like an intern on his first day on the set. And so, but you go through and there's all kinds of artifacts and all kinds of cool stuff. And I've never seen that before. And now I almost want to wait in line for The Mummy to see all that stuff.
Yeah. For sure.
That's definitely a ride that's one of my favorites, I think, there.
That's a great little coaster.
It's a great ride. It's a great combination of things. It's a really good dark ride followed by a pretty cool coaster. It's small, but it's pretty awesome. And then the fire effects.
The fire goes off over your head. Oh my goodness.
The fire effects are great, but it is why my youngest son refuses to ride it ever again.
Wyatt would always ride it, but it always scared him.
It made me a little nervous the first time, I will admit. It was, that fire's awfully close.
You're strapped into a thing and there's fire over you. It feels wrong.
What could go wrong?
Exactly.
That's the tagline for the Velocicoaster. What could go wrong?
I am fully aware that these Harry Potter, they were books before they were movies, but those lands and rides are based on the movie sets and all that. So I think of them as writing the movies, and they're
for sure.
That's plussing right there.
Yeah. It really is.
Some of them work better than others. I'll say that Hagrid's Coaster of Many Words is incredible.
So great.
Love
just
that. So magical.
I was so excited when they announced that that's what they were doing with that area, that they were putting in a forbidden forest type ride, and they hit it out of the park. They did a really good job.
It's amazing. I think all three of the major rides in the two lands are amazing.
I mean, my old butt, I'm a big fan really of the Hippogriff. Can't do the Forbidden Journey much anymore. I can do it one time, but I don't get motion sick except on that ride. It's just something about that all of the different configurations of what's happening to you on that ride with the 3D or the screens thrown in. I'm glad that they dropped the 3D on it and didn't ever bring it to Orlando, because that would have
I cannot imagine how sick making that would be.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I don't get affected by the motion sickness on the screens there at Universal, so I don't have a problem with that. And I
don't either.
I actually
except that ride. Something about it.
Weird. Maybe because they zoom you in so close to the screen.
I don't know. And that robot arm that's tilting you backwards and just you're getting whipped around.
Oh, I love that. It's so great.
I love it, but it does. I can ride it. Well, I accidentally rode it twice one time and like, oopsie, never.
Yep.
Yeah. I honestly prefer that one.
I've never been on that one.
Really? It's good. I like it.
I prefer Gringotts because of that. That one doesn't make me sick at all.
I have done Gringotts a couple of times. I like Gringotts.
It's amazing.
I can't do it anymore, but when I could ride it, I liked it.
I'm not. I enjoy it fine, but it's not my favorite of the three major ones. It ranks above the kiddie coaster, but it's,
oh no,
I love Gringotts.
Me too.
Oh, I can ride that one.
The kiddie coaster.
I can ride the Buckbeak one.
Buckbeak coaster.
Yeah.
I think I like Gringotts more than the Hagrid's.
Really?
As far as an immersive experience, Hagrid's is a great coaster, but I don't feel like I'm in a movie or anything.
Well, you have to go through standby in that one for sure, because that's got a great queue too. You go past Hagrid's cottage and some of this. I
liked all that, but I mean, other than the little part where you go through and it's him with his critters, the rest of it's just cool. It's it's awesome cool coaster.
Yeah, the queue for that attraction is great. I haven't actually done the attraction, but I was there with another agent back in September. And we walked through the queue, and it was a lovely queue area.
Yeah,
do y'all remember the Back to the Future ride at Universal?
I never rode it.
I remember that it existed.
Nope, never rode it.
It was, I believe it's what The Simpsons is now. Pretty sure that's where it was. And that was the first time I had ever done a huge screen simulated motion type ride. And I just thought it was so cool.
I love Back to the Future. I would have loved it, I'm sure.
And I loved the ride. It was like The Simpsons. It was total simulated movement. Universal's kind of got the corner on that market. They have so many of those.
That theater is actually very similar to what the Flight of Passage is. Except the Flight of Passage is 3 layers.
Yes. It was a great ride. And they only have a little bit of a few nods to Back to the Future still left there. I would have liked it if they'd have left that instead of putting in The Simpsons.
Can't you still meet the crazy scientist?
Yeah, they have the DeLorean and they've got the train right outside there. And Doc Brown is usually on the train.
Now that Disney owns The Simpsons, maybe they should just turn that over to Disney and put Back to the Future or something else there in Simpsons Land. Although I love that section of the park. I think it's more likely. I mean, this is totally off topic, but I think it's more likely that they would maybe work out a deal to trade theme park rights for Marvel superheroes for being allowed to keep. Yeah,
Simpsons.
That's a fair guess. Yeah,
I don't see either one of those things happening.
Yeah. I'm really shocked that nobody's brought up my favorite movie attraction.
I was going to say, are we going to talk about E.T.?
Are we going to talk about E.T.? Because really,
I was going to wait till the attractions that didn't translate well to movies.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I am not. That ride
it needs freshened up. It needs freshened up and updated.
Big time.
And the last third is weird. But when you talk about being put right into the middle of the action of the movie, when you are riding through that forest at the beginning, and then you take off over the hill, and E.T. pops up in the basket, and you're flying towards the moon. That's what I think about. Like,
I love that.
I love it.
That's my favorite attraction at all.
My favorite ride on that was the time that I rode it with Zach, and it was his first time, and we walked off.
What just happened?
Yes, he's like, y'all, what just happened?
I was very confused. I hadn't seen the movie, but I had an idea of what happened. And what happened on that ride did not happen what I thought happened in the movie.
Well, in the movie, you never go to his planet.
And I kept waiting to be fed Reese's Pieces.
Oh, that is true. Do they still sell those in the shop in the gift shop at the end?
They do.
So.
They do.
I love E.T. movies so much, and I do love the first 1/3 of that ride. But I don't know.
Once you're on his planet, it's so weird.
So dumb.
That too.
I love it.
It could use a refreshing.
But I will flat
sure.
ride it every time. Also, it needs some air conditioning and a dehumidifier.
Yeah, it's a little dank.
It smells like my grandpa's old camper in there.
Speaking
I'll
of
always have a soft spot in my heart for that attraction because E.T. reminds me of Jeff.
They look a lot alike.
Yeah, especially when you go into the gift shop and they've got the photo op where he's dressed up in the little granny outfit with the wig and
yes.
that doesn't look like Jess at all.
It always makes me tear up a little and go, that looks like my friend Jeff.
I think the crown jewel of movie rides has got to be the Fast and the Furious attraction at Universal Studios.
I mean, it's so authentic down to the hookers in the hot pants.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fast and furious.
Oh, it is. It is neither fast nor furious.
It is the dumb. I actually like it. Everyone bags on it. I think it's hilariously stupid.
I never stopped laughing the whole
time. Those movies are some of the worst movies that have been made. And so the fact that the worst ride ever made
there's
is
another one coming out.
Sense.
And it's just called F9. Really?
Yeah, isn't that a keyboard command?
Yes.
Hopefully it means delete.
On my keyboard, it's fast forward.
I've never been on it.
You haven't done the Fast and the Furious? You're not missing anything.
Mm-hmm. The one time that I had a chance to ride it, it was closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was closed for a while during the COVID times.
Yeah, have they reopened it?
Special times.
I'll have Kendra check.
Yeah, have her check it out
and report back.
Let us know.
Because Wyatt would actually
I want to
like to look at the cars.
I used to really like the Twister. It wasn't a ride so much as a demonstration of special effects and all. Cool. I really liked that.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. I had to do that as a kid, and I was terrified of tornadoes.
Well, that's fair.
My parents made me get in there.
You live in Alabama. You should be terrified of tornadoes.
Yep.
Well, I didn't live in Alabama at the time, but Tennessee's not much better on that on the tornadoes.
Tennessee's not better in any way.
They also made me do that confrontation,
which was awesome.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, where you rode through the.
That also terrified.
Yeah, it was like you were on a sky bucket, right?
Yeah, you're a sky tram, or going through the city.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, like you're going to Roosevelt Island.
Yeah, and all hell breaks loose, and the city's burning down and shaking because Kong's going through, and you come at the end. You came face to face with him, kind of like on Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
That animatronic on Skull Island
is that where Fast and Furious is now, and where the movie ride thing was?
Where was it?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I think that's where it was.
That's fair, Dan.
So. I was never at Universal Studios before 2018 or something like that. So I don't know my geography there.
Yeah, we went in 2007 or 8 for the first time.
Yeah, but I do like watching some of those old movies of those, or the videos of those old weird ones. My kids, for some reason, they've never seen Jaws. They have no idea, but they love watching the videos of the Jaws ride. They think it's hilarious at the end when the electrocuted shark floats up out of the water.
Yeah,
my daughter thinks it's hilarious.
She thinks it's funny.
I convinced my parents not to make me ride that one.
I liked that one. I loved Jaws.
I remember the one time I went to, and no hate on Universal. I just remember going that one time when I was a kid. I was probably 8 or 9, and we had gone to Disney kind of regularly. We had family that lived in Orlando, and I remember the time my parents said, "We're going to Universal." We went, and I hated it, and I was just like, "Can we please go back to Disney? Can we please go back to Disney?" Because everything scared me.
Scary.
It wasn't fun.
Should we move on to the Disney parks? Or are there any other movie rides we need to cover at Universal?
Let's go back to Disney. Let's go back to Disney.
Rides
That's what I
at
said.
Disney based on the movies.
Based on the movies.
Yeah.
Any personal favorites?
Personal favorite for me is Ratatouille. It's not the most exciting ride in the world, but it's super cute. And I love Remy. And I love Ratatouille. So I love that ride.
I started that movie the other day. I watched about 5-10 minutes. It wasn't because I was bored. I was just I'm not in the mood to watch a movie
the whole
right now.
thing. Yeah. Well, and I'm a little disappointed that our version at Walt Disney World is not going to end in the same place that it does in Disneyland Paris, which is the cutest little sit-down restaurant that is Remy's Bistro, and it makes it. The theming is that you're shrunk down to the size of a rat, and you go and eat at Remy's restaurant.
Yeah, I cannot figure why they didn't put one of those there.
And like some of the chairs are little champagne corks, and
I mean, you figure if they had put that in there, which restaurant was going to make more money? That or Chefs de France? France.
Yeah,
yeah,
I do
true.
love that there's a crepe restaurant coming.
And I will say the food at the Remy place in Disneyland Paris was not very good.
It's just okay. Honestly, all the food at Disneyland Paris is just okay. It's sad because it's France. They should have great food, and they really do not.
Mm-hmm. You know where they have good food?
Cars Land.
At Planet Hollywood, right outside in Disney Village.
That's true. They do.
I thought we were coming back to DCA.
Yes,
we're going to say,
oh yeah,
I do love Cars. All of Cars Land is so great and so immersive.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. Is the whole Cars Town USA at Disney California Adventure, with the exception, and honestly, Flo's the theming is amazing. I love taking photos of that place. It's beautiful. Their food and service were not so great, but man, is it immersively dead on. I mean, it looks just like you're looking at it.
And being in Cars Land when they turn on the lights, it's such a cool experience. And if you've never been to Cars Land, I know everyone here has been, but if you're listening, you've never been, I highly recommend when you're going to Cars Land for the first time, don't go in the main entrance, go around. You have to go through, is it Pacific Wharf? You go through the Pacific Wharf, past all those restaurants, and you come in the back way of Cars Land. It's a lot more immersive an experience as you walk.
Yeah, you walk through the
so that's my approach.
The stone.
When you walk through the archway,
the arch there, and you see the ride ahead of you, but it just looks like you're looking out over the mesa. It's so beautiful.
Yes,
and so well done.
And that ride is spectacular. Really well done. So fun.
It's everything Test Track is.
I mean, I hate Cars the movie. I hate Cars the movie, but that land is just so good. It doesn't matter if I don't even like the movie. They did such a good job.
And the other two rides are just okay. The Mater's, Tow Mater's,
Junkyard Jamboree. I think it's super fun, and that thing.
I don't know that Luigi's ride
makes me
is a lot.
Just giggle like a little boy. It is so.
That was
fun.
The first trackless ride I was ever on. And so that one just blew me away.
It makes me laugh.
It's so cute.
It's like the dancing scene in Mickey's Runaway Railway,
which I also
start
love.
doing the cha cha cha. I'm like, I love this.
Right. And Tow Mater, I mean, say what you will about Lawrence the Cable Guy.
Sir Lawrence the Cable.
Sir Lawrence.
I guess he's like the Guy Fieri of the Cars franchise for me, because I just like him as Mater, and
I do too. Yeah,
the songs are hilarious. I think.
Oh, Mater, average intelligence.
This is my. I know this is bad for an audio show, but this is my memory of Luigi's Rock.
He's got a photo of a woman who looks just.
She is not having
fun.
Not impressed.
And it's so
she's like the classic.
It's the cutest ride.
She's like the classic meme of the lady who's just over Splash Mountain.
Yes.
She says, "I was promised the flying saucers with the beach balls.
Yeah, where's the beach balls?
Where's the beach balls?"
That whole area is just quite amazing.
I guess if I wanted to mention a spot that I feel like doesn't get enough love. The attraction itself is okay. There's some pretty cool tricks in terms of the attraction, but just walking in the general area is where Belle's Cottage is.
I was about to bring that up.
Fantasyland. That whole little area back there is just amazing.
Beautiful.
And what I love that they did, they even incorporated these. So they have certain flowers back there. I don't know which flowers they are, but they give off a smell. So it's like they don't even have to use the smelters, because as soon as you walk back in, all those flowers, it smells
super
amazing.
fragrant. Yeah.
but even then beyond that, the tricks inside the attraction has everyone here. Dan, have you
Holy
done
crap!
the
Yes,
Enchanted
that's
great.
that magic
I
mirror.
know.
It gets me
Every time.
single
It's
time.
incredible. And lots of people complain about it, but honestly, I mean, not every attraction has to be for every person. Let the little kids
Yeah,
have.
absolutely.
I've seen so many people complain about, they just stand around with cardboard cutouts. It's like, you know what?
Story time.
Kids love that. And they get to see their mom or dad be in the show, or they get to be in the show. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's adorable. And the whole land is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Belle comes out and greets the kids that they're used to.
Yeah, and she'd give you a bookmark.
Yeah.
It was so
the
cute.
whole thing is awesome.
Yeah.
And the Lumiere attraction is amazing.
Yeah, that little guy is so cute.
Lumiere audio
Yeah, he's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and then the Little
And I
Mermaid
didn't notice
ride
for the
and all
longest
that whole
time.
area back there is super cool.
Yeah.
Gaston's. That's awesome.
They need an attraction for Rapunzel instead of just a potty.
Yes.
I hate that they didn't.
That little area is so beautiful, and all you can do is pee or poop there.
Mm-hmm. They
Exactly
do have that. They do have that cute. When they're doing it, they haven't been for a while. That cute photo op with the lantern was always very cute. But that area is just delightful. It's so cute.
But it always smells like poop.
Can I talk about it? Can I talk about an attraction that we don't have quite yet, but is based off of a film that I absolutely love?
Sure.
I'll allow it.
It's going to be the new Princess and the Frog
Oh,
attraction coming to.
some.
I have such high hopes for that.
I do too.
I absolutely adore that movie. I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic film, and unfortunately, it's the last hand-drawn animated movie I think we've gotten from Disney.
Mm-hmm.
But I have really high hopes for that attraction. Splash Mountain in and of itself is fantastic. It's one of Imagineering's best work.
Definitely.
Because it's got thrills, it's got
spills,
it's
and like 200
long,
animatronics in there.
13 minutes.
They're everywhere. It's amazing.
That is what finally convinced me to try that ride back when I was still a chicken and wouldn't ride coasters or drop rides or anything. Was everybody talking about how cool the inside was? And so I finally did it, and now it's one of my favorites. But I'm not a chicken anymore.
I am happy to see what they do with it. And I went back right after they announced that they were going to make this change and watched The Princess and the Frog. And there's so many cool elements from the movie. Then they announced this was going to be like the story afterward. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Oh, well, that
But like
makes
the whole
me sad.
Firefly scene and that whole song and stuff when they're on the speedboat going through the river and stuff.
Yes,
that would
and I was
there's
hoping
beautiful
that
music.
The
lighting effects and all could be so cool.
Are you ready as you were going up the hill to drop? Oh, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, there's still time for them to change their plans.
That would be
That's
nice.
true.
Cooler heads may yet prevail.
They're going to make it into a Tron water ride.
Hey, I can't wait for Tron. I love Tron Legacy. The story is a little.
Tell me the plot of that one again,
It's a little
Heather.
weak. Okay. His son gets sucked into the computer, and he gets reunited with his dad, and finds
Whose
out
son?
Flynn.
Who's Tron?
Flynn Rider?
Okay, well, you got to go back to watch the original movie to know who Tron is.
Yeah,
Tron's the bad guy. Okay, it's a lot.
Nerd alert.
I don't love the first one. I've watched it.
I did love the first one. I didn't know what was going on, but
what
I loved it.
about Tron Legacy is the visuals and the sound.
Daft Punk music.
Daft Punk is so good, and the visuals of that movie are
because they're
just
French
gorgeous.
gang.
Yeah, but I can't wait for that ride. It looks the light cycles. I mean, who doesn't want to ride a light cycle? Come
I
on,
hope I can ride it.
I do too. I really do.
I hope I can too.
But I'm excited for that one. I've seen the ride-throughs of that from the one in Shanghai, and it looks spectacular. So I'm excited about that coming.
No.
Someday to the Walt Disneyland Florida campus.
You know, I was
speaking of Tron.
Go ahead.
Can we talk about the movie that inspired the Land Tomorrowland? where you've got George Clooney and
Oh yeah, I actually wanted
where you pick up a pen.
I've seen that movie. I actually wanted to talk about rides that became movies, or the land that kind of went the other direction instead of an attraction based on a movie. I was going to say
I love Haunted Mansion based on the hit Jennifer Tilly film.
Yes, yeah. Which ones didn't quite?
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, legit. I watched Country Bears a few months ago because it was on Disney Plus. So I figured, why not?
I didn't realize that was a movie.
$6.99. You better get your money's worth.
Hey, that movie is not that bad. It's basically Blues Brothers with a bunch of dumb country music jokes and a bunch of animated bears.
I'll have to go watch it.
I loved it.
But isn't it crazy that they've been able to take all these hit attractions that people love? Well, I guess people don't love Country Bears. I love Country Bears. I know that you guys like Country Bears, but they've been able to take all these amazing attractions and they try to translate them into film, and it never works.
Well,
with the exception, I guess, the first Pirates movie, people really like that.
That was good.
People like all 7 or 6 or 12 of them.
I loved Curse of the Black Pearl.
I've got high hopes
for Jungle Cruise.
I think they're awful, personally.
Yeah.
I have high hopes for Jungle Cruise as well. I watched that trailer that they just released. Also, Emily Blunt.
I love Emily Blunt. I love Dwayne Johnson.
Who doesn't love The Rock?
Yes.
But can you smell what he's cooking?
Always.
But Haunted Mansion was terrible. Are they making
it smells like Johnny Depp.
A new Haunted Mansion movie? Did I hear rumors
there's
of that?
been rumors.
They just announced last week. They have a new director and everything.
Wait, again? What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was
it was like last week.
So maybe it could become.
They've been announcing that for a while. Guillermo del Toro had one.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
Oh, the Haunted.
I love his style.
Well, no, he had one in the works before the awful one came out, and supposedly that one's stuck in development hell.
Oh, that's sad because I love Guillermo del Toro.
Isn't the new one that they announced being directed by the Ghostbusters reboot director? At some point, or the writer of the all-female Ghostbusters.
I don't know that.
Was connected to do a Haunted Mansion. I don't know. Jess would know if he was here, but
they pick some strange talent to do these things.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll never forget. I'll never forgive Disney when they decided.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll never forgive Disney when they decided to give the sequel to my favorite movie of all time over to Rob Lowe. Is that his name? No, not Rob Lowe. I don't remember who directed it, but he also did Into the Woods. He botched that movie too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I remember seeing at one point they were going to be doing an It's a Small World movie, and I remember being excited about that because I thought
what's the plot of that?
It's probably one that it's kind of like
the plot is it's a small world.
Ooh, you know what the plot is? I've got it. Let's TM ahead of time. We call it the Bobs. Do you guys remember the Chipmunks Adventure cartoon movie where the Chipmunks and the Chipettes go on a hot air balloon race around the world?
Yes, I do.
That's basically It's a Small World ride.
Is that the one where they go on the cruise?
No, that's a more recent movie.
No, this was before you were born, Zach.
Chipwrecked?
No. So it's basically that movie, but with the Small World dolls instead of the Chipmunks. Call me up, Bob.
I don't know what the plot was going to be. It's probably just one of those things where it's going to be inspired by the attraction. It really doesn't have anything to do with the actual attraction. It was just kind of like Tomorrowland. Has nothing to do with the actual. No, it really doesn't.
And I thought that movie looked like it was going to be great, and it was only okay.
Yeah, they did a great job of making it look. At least for Disney Parks fans, they did a great job of making it looking really cool. I love like the first 4 minutes of it when they're at the New York World's Fair.
Well, I think from what I understand,
after that it just lost.
From what I understand, the original plans for that movie was going to have a lot more tie-ins and nods for Parks fans and history buffs, but then it kind of got changed.
It fell apart. Yeah.
I've got to say, I was not excited at all when I heard that they were going to shoehorn Pandora into Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
But Flight of Passage,
I was
underwhelmed
as far as putting you into the middle of a movie that is
Flight of Passage, and just walking around that land at night.
Mm-hmm. I love how when you just get on that thing and then you go blind for a second, and then you fly.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's just
I've never seen Avatar, but I love that land. I actually think I would prefer to not see Avatar because me personally, I feel like I would probably like the land
You
less.
might.
probably.
I liked the movie when I saw it, and I came out of there and said, I want to live in that world. Like, that was just so cool looking.
All those crazy blue cat
The
people.
floating mountains. I just love those floating mountains. I know they're not actually floating. And,
They're not?
What?
But
Zach.
The
Stop it
architecture
right
trick
now.
of how they do that is pretty amazing.
It really
though.
is.
Holy crap. Like you can't even tell really on first or second or third. At least I couldn't.
Or fourth.
Yeah, I had to
I
see
don't know
blueprints
how it
before I
works.
understood how it all worked, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
It's incredible.
They use space age polymers.
That's right. Plastics.
I think to me, for as far as just immersion, like you're really in the movie, I think the Aladdin spinning carpet ride is the one that makes me feel the most like I'm really in the movie.
Like you're
when those
flying
camels
over
spit in your
Agrabah.
face.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that scene when 24 carpets flew in a circle for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And failed to rock back and forth or go up and down like they're supposed to because they're
so
all
good.
broken.
They really do. They really do need to get rid of that spitting camel. And while we're at, can we get rid of the spitting stitch? Because I was there in March and I was carrying one of my Doonies and I walked into that stitch.
Where's that?
And that thing hit me right on the
World of Disney.
At World of Disney.
Hit you right on the Dooney.
You got my Dooney wet. That's my purse. I don't know you.
I don't know you.
That's my purse.
Did you guys have any other highlights of from the Disney parks?
No, I mean, we've gone over ad nauseum where Galaxy's Edge fell a little short, and it still has so much potential, but
I mean, yeah, it looks great, but I also
it should have been based on a movie.
I'm not a huge Star Wars fan.
You had at the time 9 movies to choose,
yes,
and they went no.
I 100% disagree, but also I was disappointed when I was there, and the app that was supposed to add so much to the experience did not work. It
wasn't
told me that
working.
It wasn't finding my location, so it told me that I was not in Black Spire.
It never worked.
Outpost. If that thing worked, and I don't know.
My kids.
I could spend a whole day there by myself, living the space dream. But I'm a believer in what they wanted to do, and they just
for sure. And it's not static. It's not going to just they'll plus it. Stuff will come. I
don't understand why Oga's is tiny.
Yeah,
true. Yeah, no,
there's so many things. Like, what are you thinking?
Improve capacity a lot.
I cannot for the life of me figure out why they didn't make 2 Oga's Cantina, but make it look like it's just one, like when you meet Anna and Elsa and their summer house.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Or when you go on Smuggler's Run, you go in one entrance and they lead you left or right when they call your table, and then the whole thing's on a turntable that moves, and they could have 5 of those same small things.
And you know what? It's a money maker.
There's tons of space back behind them,
and there's space behind it where they literally have a duplicate building ready to go that they could put a second one in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and it's a moneymaker. At some point, they're going to want to generate
you're selling booze,
more cash,
make more room.
Yeah.
But also, it's not like they knew it wasn't going to be popular.
Yes.
It's like they were just like, oh, we don't know. Could be, but maybe not. Yeah. We should just do one. No. That's like the one thing everyone kept saying when they said we're putting
everyone wanted the cantina.
Like, well, there's a cantina.
I can't wait to go to the cantina.
The cantina is great.
It's so cool. I like what they did with it, but there should be 5 of them.
Definitely.
In a sit-down location.
And you can even have like 2 different. You could have the 2 Ogas, but disguised as one, and then you could have another cantina somewhere else. That's
sure.
I don't know. Jar Jar's cantina.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth.
Misa gotta make you a drink.
Ooh, it could be a tiki place, though. It could be all kind of like islandish.
Yes.
Themed.
There was an agent. It was an agent that we were having dinner with while we were there a couple weeks ago. And her and I both talked about how much we adore Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, her loves Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah.
Do you really?
And
To
I think he's
each his
adorable.
own. That's you. That's fine.
Yeah, but you don't think he's
I also
adorable
like
enough that
Duffy
you
Bear.
that you bought the Jar Jar plushie.
Yeah,
at
I
the,
couldn't bring myself. He was like $23. They have a new Jar Jar Binks plush in the marketplace that looks like it was made by a craftsman, like they have the other plushes. And it was like $23. I was like, well, I love Jar Jar, but
I'll
That's
get it
3
for you.
months of Disney Plus right there.
Almost
it
four.
is.
Speaking of, have you seen in the corner of that toy stall there? This is one thing that I haven't seen. They have the Cantina Band instruments that are actually like working. Like the weird bassoon thing has separate notes on each key, and you can actually play it's not like pre-programmed songs. You can play whatever you want on that thing. So it's like a real working musical instrument. It's so cool. I don't know why I didn't buy it.
Why didn't you, Dan?
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Damn.
For the same reason I didn't buy Jar Jar Binks.
4
Because I
months
didn't know how I
worth
was gonna
of
get it
Disney
home.
Plus.
How much was the instrument, Dan?
It's like $50.
It was like
I'm
20.
like, what am I going to do with it?
It was about $24, actually. It wasn't that much for a Star Wars land prop.
I will buy that for you if you play it at KeyCon. Learn a song, learn the Cantina Band song, and play it for us at KeyCon.
Yes.
Only if I can have Rex behind me.
This is happening.
Spinning dropping the sick beat for me to play in front of.
And y'all know Rex is Pee Wee Herman, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I only know that
dulcet-
because you told me.
The dulcet tones of him screeching at you while you're drinking is enough to make you want another drink.
It's not for
Yes, it
sale, Francis.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah. I had a few. I think that maybe we're going to have to make this a second episode of weird other parks that use movies for their basis.
Oh, there's so many foreign ones.
This episode is especially then there's two. There's a Russian one that's an indoor park that combines that has an amazing looking immersive Hotel Transylvania land that I'd like to talk about soon.
It's in Russia?
Yes.
Oh,
and there's also a place called Movieland Studios in Italy that's kind of a combination of Universal Studios and Disney's Hollywood Studios, but with a shoestring budget and all kinds of intellectual property theft. It's incredible. You can see a parade with off-brand stormtroopers riding on Jurassic Park Jeeps.
What?
It's great. Yeah. Plus Italian Rambo
there.
is so good.
Italian Rambo.
Yeah. Isn't there like a Hunger Games theme park like in Dubai or something?
They were going to build one of those in Georgia.
What?
Can we murder people?
Were they
the country or the state?
Well, that's what I'm
the
thinking.
state of
like,
Georgia
is the
south of the United States.
Is it? Does everyone just walk into the arena and then I don't know, the last person out wins like an annual pass for a year?
That's exactly how it works.
Well, Zach, you do the research on that park, and when we cover these weird,
I'm good.
I don't think they ever built it.
Well,
weird.
There's
I
still
don't
a
think they
story
ever
there
did.
somewhere that I want to know. So Zach's go research that for the next installment of our movies in the theme parks.
And the Taylor Swift theme park. The Taylor Swift theme park that was constructed during quarantine.
In your
Is that
backyard?
real?
And you didn't think I would get Taylor Swift in
I
here.
did not.
But I did. I almost brought them up earlier when y'all were talking about Daft Punk, because I'm still not over Daft Punk winning Album of the Year at the 2014 Grammy Awards. And they stole Album of the Year away from Taylor Swift.
Hey, Zach, did you listen to this week's episode yet?
No, because I was on that. I don't listen to the ones I'm
Come
on.
on. You
So you
gotta.
didn't hear how I removed your little rant about Taylor Swift in that episode either. Do you think I'm going to leave Taylor in this time?
Oh, Dan.
Until
Dan,
she
it's
pays
Pride
us.
Month. It's Pride Month.
Until she pays us, I am not putting her on our show.
It's Pride Month. And
She's not
she is a
gay.
gay man.
No, but I am.
But
Hold up, Zach, you're
you
gay?
don't leave it in there, Dan.
whoa,
You know
whoa. Stop the
Stop
presses.
the presses.
What?
Zach, is there something you'd like to tell us?
If you don't leave it in, I will never come back on your show.
No.
Tempting.
That's what he said.
Oh. Hey,
So,
Wow.
The people deserve to know.
And you can start your very own Taylor Swift themed podcast.
Zach, I'll be on it with you.
It's really easy.
We'll call it Taylor Talk.
Yes. Talking Tay-Tay.
Swift discussion.
I like that.
That's for your little
Let's talk
short Thursday episode where you just do like the quick little news bites, 5 minutes long.
Yeah, we talk about what's happening. Taylor Swift.
Who'd she break up with this week?
That's hateful.
Oh,
You're not supposed to shame her for breaking up with boys.
No, I don't shame her.
Yeah.
It's made her a fortune.
No. It's a shame we're wasting all this wonderful content.
it's a shame. Yeah, greatest songwriter of my generation.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well,
none of this is a waste.
we're far afield here, so I'm going to say thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to ride the movies or explore anywhere else around the
Or
world,
listen to Taylor Swift.
Key to the World Travel has a Hollywood Studios backlot tram full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with a no-obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is always the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globetrotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest news at www.goldkeyadventurers.com. We can't wait to hang out with you again next week. See you real soon. To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.